Yeah, I know it's been a while, but I got a little update. How do I flip the camera? Never mind. That, I even got more. And try to. Alright, you can read that. See if you can try to read that. If you can't, I apologize. Background. If you can't read this, try pausing it. Melee weapons. Wire. A knife. Man, absolutely. Knife, syringe. Handguns. As you can see, Agent 47 is like a proud gun over. He gives his two twin pistols pet names, Silver Bells. Sniper rifle. Types. This guy is not picky when it comes to the weapons. Submachine guns. Assault rifles. Ooh, and this is shotguns. Yeah. He just saved the president. He hired an assassin to prevent the assassination. Okay. Saints. Roll a tough guy here. He defeated the player Sanchez. He survived electric shock that can kill a normal person. How much electric shocks does it take to be fatal? Wick. Age unknown. Sorry, my fingers are getting tired. Handguns. Should read that. Shotgun. Oh, so he has a bulletproof outfit. And a pencil. Car. I am terribly sorry, I have an itch. Flaws and weaknesses. One to kill John Wick. And that's the best fan art I can get. Doesn't make much sense, but okay. I'm going to show you a video. I do not own this. I'm not the creator of this video, and I do not own this video personally.
John Wick has without a doubt been one of the most highly requested fighters to analyze on this series, and it's easy to see why. Since the very first film premiered back in 2014, audiences were shocked and amazed at the action on display. They were an action film that left their awesome fighting styles with the fight action in the John Wick films. And I'm not just talking about giving him a couple for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for 4 months. In interviews, he admits that he really didn't know anything about the new skills they were teaching him, but he clearly put in the work for it to look believable. For the second film, he was once again training for 4 to 5 hours a day for about 5 months. As a matter of fact, the director notes that on the second film, they stopped training him as an actor and started training him as a stunt guy. Keanu Reeves was treated as one of the choreographers. Realistic. He put in the work to stunt double action scene hopes. The stunt coordinators and directors. A common theme that runs through these arts is that a smaller and weaker attacker can successfully overpower a strong opponent through the use of proper beat. Actually stated martial art coordinators, their job was to pick the best long take, the best angle. And that is what every editor in the world that's working on an action scene hopes for. Choosing the best take out of a series of incredible takes. Not just picking the only one that kind of works and trying to stitch it together with a series of other shots. The stunt coordinators and director of the second film confirmed that the foundation of John Wick's fighting style lies in judo and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. These are two martial arts which come from the very same parent art, which is jiu-jitsu, also known as Japanese jiu-jitsu or jujutsu. Furthermore, they've actually stated in interviews that Wick's choreography is also infused with jujutsu. These were among the martial arts that were called ingredients or recipe to Wick's fighting style. A common theme that runs through these arts is that they do feature striking techniques, but more than anything, rely on manipulating the human body by redirecting its force and counterattacking by using the opponent's strength against them. Keanu Reeves also had the honor of being personally trained and supervised by the Machado brothers. These guys family. They had nothing but good things to say about Keanu Reeves and thought that he had the focus in ground. Also, a Brazilian jiu-jitsu technique, as well as judo technique, is this choke right here. It's known as a triangle choke, and there are several variations to it. The technique constricts the blood flow from the carotid arteries to the brain. You execute it by wrapping your leg around your opponent's neck, locking in your hold with your other leg, and making sure your opponent's arm is trapped as well. Apply enough pressure with your legs, and your opponent will pass out in very little time. In class, I learned that an alternate way to lock in the technique is to pull on your opponent's trapped arm and also pull on your own away from him, which he does. This acrobatic maneuver is known as a flying pendulum sweep and into place. And when you're back, this quick wrist manipulation technique seen here, this foundation is what allows melee skills like no other combatant we've seen on fighting styles. It's an integral part of how he leverage and his body rather than always rely on striking techniques. Therefore, the stunt coordinators of the film took to calling his particular action shooting John Wick will receive gun and fighting as gunjitsu. And going on, I'd also like to give a quick shout out to Equilibrium, more rigid in its that everything is a weapon to him, and that includes his car. He used itself term it's sneaking up behind a guard. This lends itself perfectly to shinobi iri, which is the art of stealth and infiltration. So in conclusion, how many fighting styles does John Wick know in his films? They are Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, Jujutsu, Sombo, Aikido, Aikijitsu, Gunjitsu, Karfu, and Shinobi Iri. Which brings us to a grand total of 9 fighting styles. I'd like to thank each one of my Patreon members.